Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson where I'm going to teach you some funny English words and phrases that just make me smile when I say them. You'll notice that I'm wearing a sweater because it's sweater weather. That's the first phrase I wanted to teach you. When it's cool outside, when it's below 5 degrees Celsius, we sometimes refer to it as sweater weather. It's kind of hard to say, isn't it? Sweater weather. It simply means that one shirt is not enough. You need to wear something else, like a sweater. So right now out here, it's a beautiful fall day. I would consider this to be sweater weather. So that's your first funny English phrase. I'm going to teach you, I think, 14 or 15 more. But before we move on, I do want to thank Preply, the sponsor of this video. If you are looking for someone to help you take your English learning to the next level, if you're looking for an English conversation partner, there's a link in the description below to Preply. If you use it, you'll get 50% off your first lesson. So as many of you know, a few months ago I broke my collarbone, and then for a few weeks I was a passenger princess. In English, when you say someone is a passenger princess, it means they spend most of their time in the passenger seat of a car instead of driving. In fact, it usually means someone who prefers to have someone else drive them around. Because I broke the collarbone on this side, the same side where the seatbelt goes, I was told not to drive for a week or two. So I was a passenger princess. I sat in the passenger seat and Jen or one of my kids would take me wherever I needed to go. I should tell you though, this is a relatively new phrase. I didn't actually hear this phrase until about a year ago, but I did look it up online and it seems to be becoming a bit more common. So a passenger princess, someone who likes to be in the passenger seat of a car, someone who likes to have someone else drive them around instead of driving themselves. So I'm sitting on a couch and this is a potato, but I'm actually the couch potato right now. In English, when you say someone is a couch potato, it's a person who's sitting on a couch, usually watching TV for a long period of time. Recently, Jen and I have been watching the Toronto Blue Jays play baseball. They're in the playoffs. They're actually in the World Series. So we've been couch potatoes lately. I have actually spent a lot of time on this couch, sitting on this couch, lying on this couch, watching the Blue Jays play baseball. I have been a couch potato. So once again, a couch potato is someone who spends a lot of time sitting on a couch, maybe watching TV, maybe playing video games, certainly not being active or moving around. They're simply a couch potato. So it's actually early morning here. I just got out of bed and started making this English lesson, and I have a little bit of bedhead, which is kind of a funny term. When you have bedhead, it means your hair is a little bit messed up because you slept on it funny. And I'm wearing my glasses, my sunglasses, because I have bags under my eyes because I didn't get my beauty sleep. That's not actually true. I think I got my beauty sleep. Beauty sleep is a funny way to refer to sleep that makes you look refreshed and I guess makes you look beautiful. So, two funny English phrases. When you sleep on your hair and your hair is messed up, we sometimes say you have bedhead, and sometimes when we don't look great or we feel like we slept badly, we'll say, oh, I don't feel great today, I don't look good today because I didn't get my beauty sleep. Have you ever gone to a friend's house to play games, and then when you get there, your friend doesn't want to play the game? We would call that person a party pooper. In English, when you say someone is a party pooper, it means they're not excited to do something or they don't want to do something, usually something fun. If we all decided to go skiing and one of my kids, when we got to the ski resort, said, I'm just going to sit in the chalet, I'm not going to ski today, we would say, oh, don't be a party pooper. Don't ruin the fun of everyone else. It's more fun if we all do this together. So in English, when you call someone a party pooper, it's when you plan to do something together with people, and it's usually something fun, and one person, for some reason, doesn't want to do it. If that was the case, we would say they're a party pooper. So you'll notice now I'm sitting in the back of my car. If Jen was driving, and if I was telling Jen where to go and how to drive, I would be considered a backseat driver. A backseat driver is someone who sits in the back of a car and tells the driver what to do. In some cases, it seems like maybe the backseat driver should just be the driver. If you sit in the back seat and you have a strong opinion about how fast someone should go, or whether they're speeding, or where they should turn, or how they should get to the place where you are going, you are considered a backseat driver if you constantly talk about all that. I haven't actually sat back here for a very long time. It's quite comfortable. Maybe the next time we go somewhere, I'll sit back here and I'll try to not be a backseat driver. I'll try not to express my opinions to the person who's driving. Before we move on to the next funny English word or phrase, I do want to once again thank Preply, the sponsor of this video. If you're looking for an English-speaking partner that can give you individualized English lessons, Preply is a great place to find one. And if you use the link in the description below today, you'll get 50% off your first lesson. Maybe you are a backseat driver when it comes to your English learning. Maybe you are a passenger princess and you really need to be over there in the driver's seat. If that is the case, I guarantee you, if you find a tutor on Preply, they will help you take your English learning to the next level. Maybe you're learning English because you're going to move to an English-speaking country. That would be exciting. Maybe you're going to study English in an English-speaking country. Maybe you just like learning English. Maybe you have an English test coming up. Whatever the reason, Preply has a variety of tutors that can help you prepare for whatever reason it is that you're learning English. So once again, if you use the link in the description below today, you'll get 50% off your first lesson, and I guarantee you it will help you improve your English learning. So I mentioned earlier that it's sweater weather, and I'm actually a happy camper because of that. In English, when you say someone is a happy camper, it doesn't mean they're camping. It doesn't mean they're out in the woods sleeping in a tent. It simply means they're very, very happy in their current situation. I love cool weather. I hate hot weather. So I am a happy camper whenever the weather is beautiful. When I'm sitting in my house on a Saturday afternoon reading a book, I am a happy camper. When I am able to help Jen on the farm, I'm a happy camper. In English, when you say someone is a happy camper, it simply means they're doing something that makes them happy. So you can't quite see the sun. It is up there. It is still fairly early in the morning because I was an early bird this morning. In English, when you say someone is an early bird, it means they get up early, or it means they get somewhere early. Whenever I go to work, I'm a bit of an early bird. If I need to be there at 8, I'm sometimes there at 7:45. If I need to get up at 7 a.m., sometimes I'm an early bird and I get up at 6:45. The opposite, though, is night owl. When you're a night owl, it means you like to stay up late. Some of you are probably night owls, and some of you are probably early birds. Usually people have different personalities, and that's what makes us all unique. So an early bird gets up early or arrives early at a place where they need to be. A night owl is someone who loves to stay up late. So I am not a social butterfly. I don't like to go places and talk to lots of people. I'm more of a homebody. So you have two completely different words there, or phrases. A social butterfly loves people, loves being out at night, loves talking to people for hours on end, whereas a homebody just likes to stay at home. Jen and I are definitely more homebodies than we are social butterflies. We do like to go out. We do like to talk to people, but given a choice, especially on a Friday night, I would choose to be a homebody over being a social butterfly. So once again, a social butterfly loves people, loves talking to people, loves being social, whereas a homebody just loves staying at home. So these next two phrases aren't insults, but they're kind of a way to make fun of someone. As you can see behind me, there is a barn because I am a country bumpkin. I am someone who lives out in the country. So a humorous, mildly insulting way to describe someone from the country is to call them a country bumpkin. But you may ask, what do you call someone from the city then? The term for someone from the city is city slicker. Someone who lives in the city, we would, in a fun, joking way, call a city slicker. Someone who lives in the country, we would call them a country bumpkin. So once again, two funny English terms or phrases that we use to describe people. Country bumpkins live out in the country, and there's things like barns and cows and goats, and city slickers live in the city where there's skyscrapers, and apparently you can get pizza delivered to your house. That must be amazing. So you might be wondering why I always make my English lessons outside. One of the reasons for that is because I am not a neat freak. I'm not a neat freak. A neat freak is someone who keeps their house really, really clean. Now, our house isn't messy. I would say our house is lived in. If you were to walk in my house, it looks lived in. Sometimes the dishes aren't all done. Sometimes the kitchen's a little bit messy, because Jen and I aren't neat freaks. We really like doing things, and we don't really like cleaning our house all the time. We do what needs to be done. I mean, it's not a disaster, but we certainly aren't neat freaks. So a neat freak, someone who loves keeping their car really clean, keeping their house really clean, keeping their apartment really clean. As many of you know, Jen loves to grow flowers. If someone, though, across the road from us started to grow all the same flowers and sell all the same flowers, we would call them a copycat. In English, when you say someone is a copycat, it means they copy everything that you are doing. Maybe you have a certain hairstyle and you wear certain colored shirts to work, and one of your coworkers gets the same haircut and starts wearing the same shirts. You would call that person a copycat. So in English, when you say someone's a copycat, it means they look at what you're doing, or they look at how you look, and they try to copy it. They try to do the same thing. I'm not sure where the term comes from. I'm not sure if cats copy each other. I've never actually seen that. What I do know, though, is chickens do cluck. If you're wondering what that sound is, as I was making this lesson, Jen does have chickens here out in the flower field. So anyways, a copycat, someone who copies everything that you do. Have you ever been around someone, or maybe you have a relative or a coworker who always seems to know everything? We sometimes call that type of person a know-it-all. A know-it-all is someone who seems to know everything about everything and loves talking about it. It's not a positive term. It is a bit of an insult. You might say something like, Joe is such a know-it-all. I'm annoyed every time I say something because he has to correct me. So in English, when you call someone a know-it-all, it's not a nice thing to say, but it's simply how we refer to someone at work or in your family who always seems to know everything about everything. And sometimes they're even wrong. They think they know everything, but they don't actually know everything. So a know-it-all, someone who thinks they know everything. So later this afternoon, after I'm done editing this English lesson, I'm looking forward to a little bit of quiet time. In English, when we say quiet time, it means time spent doing something quietly. Something like reading a book or even taking a nap. Sometimes when I'm reading a book, I accidentally take a nap. Sometimes it's nice to have some quiet time. I'm also looking forward to a little bit of me time. Me time refers to time spent just by yourself. Sometimes when I'm driving by myself, I appreciate the me time that I'm getting. Sometimes when I'm home by myself, I actually appreciate the me time that I'm getting. It doesn't mean that I don't like Jen or my kids, but I think everyone needs a little bit of quiet time every once in a while and a little bit of me time. Well, thank you so much for watching this English lesson about funny English words and phrases that you can use in your next English conversation. And maybe that conversation will be with a tutor from Preply. I do want to thank Preply once again for sponsoring this video. And don't forget, if you use the link in the description below, you'll get 50% off your first lesson. Well, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll see you next week with another English lesson. Bye.